on, and we live.
Jim
Jim,
Jam.
Jim.
Yeah.
GM.
We got a party. Party
We got a
today.
we got some special guests today. Some parliament members. Le Parlement.
I wouldn't say that French is
That's
first
right.
in mind. I think mostly English when I think Parliament, but
I do, but le in front of everything sounds better.
It's the future of France, right?
Mm-hmm.
Le
Already
future.
started adding it in every tweet now.
All my proposals, I put future of France too. I said Arbitrum's the future of France.
You should start putting le proposal. Le stip. Le galaxy. I think we're
Oh,
back, baby.
are we back?
I think we're back.
What's the market like
I'm
today? Does it look good?
It looks all right, but I mean, if you zoom out a bit, it's looking like we're back.
Dude,
Markets are looking
Bitboy's,
good today.
I got Bitboy's new indicator on my trading view now, dude.
Actually, Monero broke out yesterday, so that means everyone's cashing out to Monero and everything's gonna send like 50% down.
Oh no.
No, ETH hasn't pumped yet.
Yeah, that's true.
It never
Yeah.
will again.
Yeah, some alts are out pumping ETH, like big alts are out pumping ETH.
Yeah, when ETH rips, that's when it's over. So we got some time, boys. No, I'm feeling like we're back though. Things are looking right. I don't know. I'm just a weirdly shadowed cat boy on the internet.
All right, I got
know.
some. Let's take some bets.
Okay.
What's the market cap of Celestia going to be tomorrow?
Celestia?
Yeah,
Why tomorrow?
they go live. Their mainnet goes live tomorrow.
We'll say
An expensive 42 million.
You think so? Or thought I read somewhere like it was thinking like 200 or something.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
more like 200.
1 to 200, yeah.
We'll see.
We'll
But
say,
no, it's a capital formation event, right? So like if you're in that airdrop, that's some extra gambling money.
I'm gonna go with.
Oh, it's trading what 315 on pre-market. I don't know what that puts it at. I have no idea what the tokenomics are. I just know that I couldn't get my airdrop. So who knows?
Do you think that it's worth more than ApeCoin?
Dude, isn't the Yuga like 4 billion or something?
No. I'm just talking about the ApeCoin itself. Let's not talk about Yuga.
Why are you gonna try to do a pair on it? Do they have pairs for it?
I love my ape, whatever, insert random token pair. Those
What
are the most
else is
interesting
going on?
pairs.
What did we miss? What happened this weekend?
You missed nothing. The weekend itself's been pretty mute. Since the only thing that's been happening is more like FTX stuff, and then like.
Oh,
random-
Sam's supposed to go on trial today. No, he's. I think the jury's gonna be there today.
Yeah, he's supposed to go on in front of the jury. He's technically, been in front of the judge already, but yeah, today will be his, you could say, like, public appearance. Interested to read the what's that one threader? He's got a long name, so it's something observatory or but
Adam.
he's been live tweeting all of this. Yeah, I think
Oh, I know what you're talking about from the courtroom.
yeah. Did you watch the Bloomberg special that they did on it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm trying to think what it's called. I just watched it like 2 days ago. It's called
I don't know, but I saw CNN was interviewing
Ruin. It's called
Michael
Ruin.
Lewis yesterday.
And it's I'm genuinely interested, like why they chose the people that they chose to interview in the film. Like they've got the founder of Nansen, and then like Sue and Kyle from Three Arrows,
Oh yes, I have that bookmarked. I know it. I
Kevin
generally-
O'Leary, Tiffany Fong, and
She's been getting a lot of hate lately.
Alex Pack.
Just
Well,
all the
I mean,
fucking
like-
grifters.
Yeah. That's BitBoy is in it,
Oh, BitBoy.
So yeah, it's like
Oh, I need to
everyone
see
that they
this.
interviewed last
I need
year
to see this.
has now this year like found themselves in like tons of turmoil. Yeah, it's just like while I was watching this, I was just laughing and like telling my girl like I have no idea like why they would interview this person. Like Kevin O'Leary, it's come out he accepted what, like close to 30 million,
I think
and
10.
well, it was like 15, and then like there was another, I think it
Maybe
was
it's
like
10 plus
15 or
equity.
13 or something.
Yeah.
So like, you got this guy that accepted tons of money from Sam, now like being one of the guys talking about him. This girl that came up out of nowhere, just trying to get close with Sam, and kind of creates a friendship with him, and does a couple interviews with him because she's now close with him, and she has a lot of attention around her in the case. Now, I don't know if it was they're trolling or not, but now she's supposedly dating Martin Shkreli.
No, that was a joke.
Okay, I
I
didn't know
think.
if it was a joke or not. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, she's a
I
grifter.
I think it might be.
She did take a
joke, too,
picture
but-
with him. Yeah. She's not live streaming, but she's doing like daily recaps from her hotel room because she's like out there.
Yeah. No hate on her covering the case or anything. It's more on the I don't know. The reasoning why there's a tension around her, I think, is what brings the negative, light. Because it's not like she worked with him in any capacity or she worked with anyone else in the industry to where she knew him. It was like, oh, I just want to get this story, and like, here's this guy who's socially awkward that like isn't going to be able to be around people, let alone women. Let me see if he'd want me to come by and talk with him. And she makes that very clear in this isn't me, like trying to push my own idea of what she was doing onto people. She clearly states that in the show that like, yeah, she had a previous relationship. They became friends, but like also like, why wouldn't he want, to be visited by a woman to come chat? So yeah, I think that's why there's a lot of hate around her. But then yeah, like they have BitBoy in there fucking talking about it. All right, BitBoy went to Bahamas, but I was in the Bahamas at the same time. You could have interviewed me about it.
Yeah, but you didn't find his Corolla, remember?
Yeah, I didn't find his Corolla.
Remember, BitBoy found his Corolla and was taking pictures and being like, "These are the drugs."
That was funny.
That was before his upper arc, his drug use arc.
Upper.
He was still on the
Careful.
steroids. He was still on the steroids then, but
Careful, he's coming after people now for saying that.
oh, okay, my bad.
So outside of that, today starts one of the, in DK's opinion, largest events on Arbitrum, period, when it comes around.
No, well,
Averaging
for
about...
us. For us.
Definitely for us. Specifically for us. No, but they have a Galaxy Quest initiative that is starting up in an hour, and is it in 20 minutes?
I think it's an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah.
Hour and 20 minutes, yeah. We will be participating in it this week. There's they've banded together protocols to do some different quests or kind of like initiatives each week. We are live with 1 Inch, I believe. 1 Inch, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I got. I did the Odyssey. Am I part of the arc now?
Wait, you did the Odyssey? Well, our Odyssey starts in like an hour and 20 minutes.
I don't know. It's the one on the website.
Might be 20 minutes.
Oh, maybe it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
I did the one
Pretty
on
sure
the
it's in 20
website.
minutes.
Am I late? What week are we on?
You're thinking of academy courses, I think.
Mm.
Oh, you did that because we published it like 2 hours ago. Yeah, that is part of. So you have to complete that course to do.
I'm a recruit now, bro. I'm an ARB recruit. I got a badge.
All right, talk about a DK, because our listeners are going to be like, what the fuck is Marty talking about?
I don't know. I'm under friend DA, but yeah, there's 2 quests. They're going to be coming out in like either 20 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. I don't know. Ours will be an on-chain and an off-chain quest. The off-chain quest is an academy course, Arbitrum Recruit Academy course. We just launched it maybe 2 hours ago. And then the on-chain will be taking what you learned by a call option of ARB tokens, at least 1 contract. But we've been seeing anywhere from 60K to 180K people complete those courses. So, dude, all hands on deck because we're about to
60K to 180. Oh,
Yeah.
we're so back.
Wow.
We're so back.
Yeah, so it's going to be a bombardment of users on the site. So, good. It'll be good. It'll be a good stress test of the platform. Not going to see a lot of volume, obviously, because you only need to buy 1 contract worth. But it should get some people more familiar with options, get a little bit more comfortable, and then people more familiar going into the STIP program. So pretty excited.
I'm gonna put some stink asks right now before that goes live.
I need to buy some ARB, set up some ranges.
Speaking of options and futures, though, we had like 2 back-to-back $2 billion days last week. The futures and options markets are definitely back.
2 bill, yeah.
It was 2 bill back-to-back days, I think.
Yeah, Deribit had their largest day, had their largest day in a long time, and then at Paradigm, it had their largest day ever. So,
wow,
Alabama Gamma was strong that day. Woof, we're fucking back. We're back. I want to trade this 30 to 40K, and I think that kind of plays in where dealers are short Gamma up to like 36, 40K. Then if we get past that, I mean, there's no stopping, that roll tide after that.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, the positioning is all pretty end year bullish.
Santa rally, October.
Yeah.
Have you been following along with this Van Eck ETF news?
Yeah. Well, the person that owns their Telegram or their Twitter is just like just a shit poster.
They fired the one intern supposedly.
No, they did.
Oh no.
Dude, we have to know this guy, right? He has to know. We have to know who it is.
It's got to be.
There's only like
Twitter, dude.
Yeah, there's like 50 people that like run all the
are this good. That are this good.
But
Twitter
for whatever
accounts.
reason, they're getting a ton more engagement than because they only had like 30,000 followers or something. And now that they started shit posting crypto stuff, they're getting a ton more engagement than they normally do. So they keep on doing it. They posted Pepe the other day. They have just a bunch of funny stuff. From a corporate, U.S. corporate ETF account. It's pretty funny. Did you see Vanguard came out and said this last weekend or end of last week that they have no intention of doing a Bitcoin ETF?
Really?
That'll change.
They're like standing against it. And they're like the second biggest ETF management group.
All their marketing is like them with Senator Warren, like banners, just like them with screaming faces, Hamas flags behind them.
I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, but I think knees will continue to bend until acceptance improves. Just like that is the history of Bitcoin.
Knees will continue to bend to what?
Bitcoin, just
to the Bitcoin monastery.
Yeah.
Meetings will continue. Yeah.
No, I just think once the
disagree
banks have a product that they can sell, then they'll sell it.
Precisely.
And right now, Vanguard's like, screw that. We have all of our amazing, green infrastructure ETFs. So why would we want to touch this Bitcoin thing? And then once they have a product they can sell, they'll flip.
BlackRock's going to sell the shit out of that being ESG friendly, though. And then Vanguard's going to be like, oh, missed this one.
You have to.
You didn't see
You
this
have
one
to.
coming.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, wow, you could have been green. You can't have
Bitcoin. It will be green by 2050. That's what I was told. By 2050, it will be green.
I think it depends on where the energy is, because I think if it's from the States, a lot of the state stuff is like.
There's going to be a new form of
Isn't that
credit.
the global accord is green by 2050? So it's
there's going to be a new ESG type thing, right? It's going to be a credit to on your future like energy spend.
That's like New World Order
carbon credits.
Carbon credits. That's more conspiracy theory stuff.
No, it's my Bitcoin monastery theory. When Bitcoin takes over, we'll be able to sell essentially like ESG type credits, but for the power that they would use for securing their Bitcoin. So you can essentially like take loans out against the amount of Bitcoin that you would mine for that year, knowing the amount of hash that you produce and gain.
Yeah, I mean, carbon. So do you remember the whole carbon credit? Like, it pretty much peaked in like Q1, Q4 of last year, but they're all the carbon credit, like on-chain carbon credit stuff. I sat down with one of the founders or two of the founders of one of the groups for like 3 hours during East Denver, because we were both mentors, and they took me through that whole. It's a very interesting space, like all the players that are in it, how it's pretty much like it's like an oligarchy, like oligopoly, between like the people that can issue the credits, but like none of it's like really real or enforced. It's just like a bunch of guys that one day were like, we're going to, just like cryptocurrency, we're going to create this concept called selling of carbon credits, different than like Tokyo Accord stuff, but we're gonna create these carbon credits that people can feel good buying them, to offset their carbon usage. And like there's different tiers of credits. There's like good credits, there's bad credits, there's aging credits, there's like a whole market. But the bringing it on crypto, they took all of the tiers that were like the lowest tranches and brought them on chain, and made a market for them. And so then the rest of these companies were like caught off guard because they couldn't sell them themselves. And then crypto, like, people buy any, speculate on anything. But that whole business, I think, got pretty much not exposed per se, but it kind of was a sham, I think, to some regard. And so it's not as fruitful as it was in, Q1.
Back when Obama was around. When Obama was president, there was talks of like increasing, or you could say like increasing the percentage that, how's the best way to word this? They were going to increase the amount of, I don't know, credits I guess you would need, or the decrease the amount of emissions that you could let out through your like carbon black that a lot of these energy companies and coal burning industries were using to produce power and other things. So when was it, in like 2013 or 14? 2015? I don't know. It all blends together now, but sometime back in that time, me and a friend were going to start a tire waste recycling factory, and we had done quite a bit of research on this. Got to the point of setting up a pilot plant. Yeah, it was a really crazy story. Like, I had a friend from China whose cousin worked like down in.
This is the whole Jason Pomp story.
Is it? I don't know who Jason Pomp is.
No,
Al
so
Pomp's brother?
No, so you got Pomp and Jason. I think his name is Jason something.
Oh yeah, Jason, the Bitcoin guy. I don't know, Jason something. Yeah, sure. I don't know anything about them.
When Pomp was at Morgan Creek Digital, this is like the whole story how they met. It was tire recycling for Bitcoin mining.
We weren't going to do anything with Bitcoin mining. Like, I didn't even know like about Bitcoin mining at the time. I had a friend's cousin.
When was
this was like back in 2000 and maybe 15 or 16, I want to say. Yeah, but like anyway, like how we found out about it was his cousin owned a Chinese restaurant down in like Carolina, I think, North Carolina or South Carolina, and there was a guy who was like this tire waste recycling czar that had, a few places in Eastern Europe, had a couple places in the States, and had some patented tech to like reuse um, some of the byproduct that it was creating to repower the machines. So it was like you were only paying for like 40% of your electricity, like 60% of it was coming back to you through burning of this gas byproduct. And so my friend was like, "Do you want to take a drive down to this guy's plant and just see if he'll meet with us, and we'll like see if he'll uh, come on as an advisor, help us get contacts." Like it was just a totally like a crazy plan for us to like go out there, but we did it. We took his car in to like get some work, got a loaner, and drove down for the weekend. We just showed up at this guy's plant, asked if he was there. He happened to be there. He gave us a tour, took us out for lunch, and then offered to like help give us connections. Obviously he wanted a percentage of the company if we were going to set it up, but he had shut down his factory in the general area in the region like we were going to set up. So he was pretty down to do it. And then like just as I was meeting with like the SBDC of our area, Small Business Development Center, getting everything set up so we could get different federal and like state level grants. And then just as we were like getting to set up the pilot plant, our guy who like had all the money at the time, who had land for us, he owned like a lot of land in this area as well as a couple other states. He was building like some retirement like apartments down in Florida, and was like, "I can't be up there. Like, just get it, and like I'll cover it when I get back." And we're like, "That's not how this works. Like, we don't have that kind of money. We need the money." So it all just kind of fell through like at the end. So yeah, we never set up the tire waste recycling factory, but I know plenty about carbon credits now because the whole like ploy of it was these people need to produce less emissions. We can sell them carbon black instead of coal, and that's how we'll run our business. But outside of that,
in
you
other
were like,
countries, it's like enforceable, right? Like in the EU and stuff, it's like you have to have that. You have to buy those offsets. In the US, you don't have to do it.
Yep. Well, the thing
was
there's
a market for it. There is a market for it for sure.
Now it doesn't matter, right? Like back then they were going to start putting stricter enforcement, so it was like the perfect storm to like kind of be. We weren't going to be first, obviously. There were already, there was a guy who pretty much like ran shit in the industry that was already here, but there was space, for competition. Yeah, now not so much. It's not it doesn't fucking matter. You can burn whatever you want here.
You guys follow any of that Uniswap Yukobo stuff?
No. I got something else that's kind of crazy that happened today, but talk about this Uniswap.
Well, I was gonna say that it's Uniswap just keeps on like funding things.
Is this the 20 million thing?
It was it was 12 million, I think, in USD or something. No. Yes, it was 12 million in USD worth of Uniswap tokens.
I saw this morning.
Yeah, it was like, I think it's Starkware or Starknet or whatever. It has a DEX of the founder was one of the guys that used to work on Uniswap, and he asked for like $12 million from Uniswap and essentially like a 20% of their governance tokens when they come out, but it put them at like a $60 million valuation, and like that's like twice their TVL or something. It's like, and there's not like a lot of TVL on that chain to begin with, but like they were the multiples that they were using and the economic benefits didn't really make a lot of sense for people, and all the forum posts were like, we don't support this, and then like 7 wallets came in and just voted it through.
Imagine that
on the temperature check. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of smaller uni holders, and then like 8 wallets to have a massive amount that all voted for.
Classic.
Yeah, the classic.
The uni cartel.
They're not doing themselves any favors. But that's another huge. That's a 12 or whatever. That's a bunch of, maybe it was 20 million. No, however many Uniswap tokens that is. It's more selling pressure, and they just like funded the foundation with like 70 million or 64 million or whatever. If you look at Uniswap's chart, it's like the only one that hasn't gone up in the last few weeks.
We won't give fees to users yet, but we'll continue to hand out Uniswap tokens to other protocols to dump on the market to pay for things.
I mean, they're making a lot of money off of that. I think they made like.
I've never even heard of this protocol.
Neither had I until I read this morning.
Akubo?
No, I mean, it just came out of nowhere, and they asked for 60 million fully diluted.
Is this like money laundering? Like
that's what it seems like. Yeah, dude, it seems like.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to work here. This is technically free money, right? So you should fund my new business. And he calls all his friends that are all like huge Uniswap token holders. He's probably a huge Uniswap token holder.
He's one of those votes that came through.
And everyone hates it. Wintermute even came out and was like, this doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, I'm reading the block right now, and it's like Wintermute said no. And then there's a disclaimer. The founder of Wintermute sits on the block's board and is a shareholder.
This is so mild compared to some stuff that happened, though. This is.
It's like if you are a VC, right? Because the terms of the agreement says you get no equity, you get 20% of the governance tokens. But if you are a VC in both of those, and you don't want to have to put up cash to like help fund the operations of this company, you can just use your Uniswap tokens to vote massive amounts or on the Uniswap. So you're having Uniswap pay for it because you're a VC in both. It's just this is the kind of stuff that you see with a lot of other chains where it's like the VCs own all the tokens for governance anyways. It's like you spend all this effort to like argue on the forums, and then someone comes in and just votes for it anyway. So it's just like, why?
Yeah, this is like your kid has a company and you and your buddies just fund the company and push it through.
They don't even read your forum posts.
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All these good arguments, and like, well, I don't care.
And especially on StarkNet, StarkNet. Come on, guys. What's going on here?
Speaking of the block, I saw that Suzu, 3 Arrows, they dropped the defamation charges against Dudas. I don't know if you guys had seen before, but they had their first justice token was a Dudas token, like for him defaming them, but they dropped that. I really could not believe that they were in. I mean, really the whole cast of characters, but seeing them talking about like the FTX stuff was just like surreal.
What's the name of that bloomy thing you were talking about earlier? The little documentary.
It's called Ruin. It's called Ruin. Yeah, it's like 100. It's like.
Where is it on? Is it on Peacock?
It's on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, just type in Ruin or Ruin Crypto or something, or Ruin FTX, and it'll come up.
Okay, I'll have to watch that today.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I mean, it's just like the wildest cast of like characters to interview. And then there's like Alex from Nansen and Alex Peck. So you have like, VC, like normal, like crypto founder or crypto like company founder, and then like BitBoy and 3 Arrows and Tiffany. Like it's just like such an odd cast of characters.
It was 2 hours long. Holy fuck, that's a fucking story.
I don't know if you saw DK, but Seraphim.
He left Lido. I did see that. That's the first thing I read this morning.
That's
too bad. I wonder what he's gonna do now.
I'm also pretty interested in like what his next venture is. He was
I do think, I know we've talked about this before and non-directly, but I do think that proposal he put on Arbitrum was the reason that Arbitrum didn't get the reason that Lido didn't get a grant from Arbitrum. It was solely because of how he did it, how he managed the situation.
Was it one of you guys that said a lot of the Lido people are leaving?
Well, they have left already.
Yeah.
they're no, I don't know the reasoning. It could totally just I'm not insinuating that anything's going on like internally there, by anything I'm saying about people leaving, so don't interpret it as that. But I think a lot of it is like Lido's, even in what like Seraphim's saying, like Lido's super successful. It is, you know, there's a lot less, I feel like, for certain groups within an organization to do. And sometimes it can like lose its magic. So if you're someone who's really like high output, high energy, and you get to a point to where you're working at a DAO, things become a bit more, I don't know what's the best way, a bit more rougher, right? To get things through because there's a lot of bureaucracy. It may not be at the speed in which you like to work anymore. I know for me, like I don't do well working in like corporate, tech settings. I don't do good in office. I get bored really quickly, with having to be forced in like the same setting all the time.
I know that feel.
I get agitated when, there's, a lot of roadblocks that are occurring somewhere, or when it seems like there's misalignment because of size, right? Because like the organization's so big that, there's a lot of.
There's a lot of morale hits that I could see working at Lido right now.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things, but I think one of it is like Lido's just super successful. A lot of people that have been there for a while, their tokens are vested and they're looking for something else to do. So I don't think it's like, I don't think necessarily that there's something like
there's a lot of good
going
opportunities to split them out. It's like some of the ETH proposals of how they're going to potentially deal with something like this in the future. There's a lot of cool things you could build around that.
Yeah. Did
you see the Lido Layer 0 drama last week?
Yeah. We talked about that a little bit. I I don't know how to feel about it, right? Like, because the like crypto ethos, like diehard part of me is like good. When if like, kind of like when you want something done now and done quote unquote right, or in the way that you would like it, you just do it yourself. And like waiting on people means that you miss opportunities, that you may not like even build the thing that you want to build because of stagnation and it not being like applicable or someone beating you to it. Crypto's an industry that you kind of need to move very quickly, and I think that's one of the like downsides to having a DAO architecture too early, is that you're not able to move very fast. Like you saw this early on if you were working at a protocol with like DeFi Pulse, because there was like, you had Index Coop and DeFi Pulse that kind of worked in tandem together. So a lot of things had to go through like two different working groups before they would come back. And when you have these, when you're trying to still figure things out and you have people in these positions that aren't familiar with, how governance runs, or never, this is maybe their first time working for a crypto project, there is lots of stagnation and roadblocks that come into play. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I see why a protocol would just do it, and then I understand why Lido would be very upset that someone took their product and instead of allowing them to, choose a bridge that they're sponsoring, kind of putting their name on, not having a say in that. But it's like, the other angle is like no other protocol outside of like wanting marketing or additional support ask for permission to like spin up something to support the community, right? Like, if when you see protocols pop up or dexes pop up and they have yield farming pools on there to drive liquidity, outside of like trying to get incentives, I've never seen one at launch like ask permission from any of the assets or protocols to create that pool that shows on their front end for people to deposit into. So like that part of me is like, you know, why would anyone wait for you? It's just that working at a protocol, I understand why they wouldn't want anyone else to do it, you know? So yeah, I see both sides, but I kind of
there should be a canonical bridge that where you're the native issuer, right? So you don't end up with like a multi-chain issue like what we have.
Totally.
But it was ballsy. You'll see how it plays out for them. I mean, good for them for doing it. Everyone else,
very ballsy.
Everyone else is, now whiny about it. They're like, that's not fair. Why did you do that? And they signed a letter together and stuff. But it is going to cause fragmentation. But yeah, it's going to move too slow. I agree with you. Lida will move too slow for it.
I think DAOs are great when you have a product that's basically finished, because it's kind of like a way to preserve the original product in a way that it doesn't change too much, because you have to get the approval of a lot of people. And that's like, as you were saying, the exact opposite of what you want to move fast.
Yeah, I've like shared my opinion on this a lot. You know, like I think DAOs are an end state like that. The protocols need kind of a benevolent dictator. It doesn't need to be a main character or like become like the public figure, but there needs to be someone that is leading the vision. And when you're a new protocol, you have a lot of speculators that are part of the community, and they don't want any part in your vision. So to open up with the DAO and allow a ton of speculators to come in and start making decisions for how the protocol is going to move forward is asking for your protocol to be run into the ground, in my personal opinion. But if you are able to have time to foster a community of people that are actually interested in building out the product in the vision that the original team has set, you can then build into a DAO to where you can hand off, different levels of responsibility to where that core team with the core vision no longer have, centralized power or outweighted power, I should say, over others. And because then the vision is aligned, like the people that are contributing, the people that are taking part, they all kind of understand the direction, the end state, and like where you are now. That's why like I love the parliament, right? Because like we were able to take you were there in the beginning, like there was the whole spectrum of users as a part of the community. And then over time, it starts to shape into people that actually understand the product that you're trying to build, the users you're trying to build for, the problem space that you're working in, and the conversations are much more productive, as well as like streamlined when you're trying to make decision processes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't even think DAO is like the right solution. Like DAO in its traditional form. I think we can architect better solutions. We're already playing in our own rules. You've
done a lot of this in your spare time in your second, third, or fourth job. Like I don't know what I would classify it as. But talk about some of the kind of unique setups or kind of ideal setup in your opinion for some of these autonomous organizations. Or we'll just say we'll say not autonomous, decentralized.
I think autonomous needs to get removed entirely.
Yeah. That's why I said just let's remove that and say just decentralized organizations, decentralized working groups.
You're gonna spend too much time autonomizing things, and by the time you spent the dev time to actually do it, you could have like the times have changed, or your methodology would have changed, or you're already pivoting. So like the decentralized piece, I think is important for get like a wide net of different like opinions. But I don't think we need to go along the fully on-chain decentralized nature. And there's like a lot of cool stuff that are coming up between like what Denton's already working on for us anyways is OSNAP and multisigs. So essentially, you can put a snapshot up, and you just to the outcome of any one of the snapshot votes, you put a transaction on it. So it doesn't have to be like, white or black. And then Snapshot X, which is in beta right now, which like no one is talking about, is essentially that on chain. It's their evolution on chain, and it allows you to.
Talking about Twitter X.
I'm talking Snapshot X. They've been like in stealth, I guess. They haven't really been doing a lot of marketing around it, but they've been building for a long time and a fully on-chain suite. So now everyone's stuck to using Governor Alpha or Bravo. But yeah,
and there's other stuff you can integrate, so you can actually have a lot of stuff happen based on on-chain votes.
Yeah, I do think that there's a lot of cool stuff you can do in DeFi with barter markets and trading services for native tokens. I think there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with having representatives and councils and committees that cover different things. It's just essentially like the traditional corporate governance structure has worked, right? So I think that from like a trying a bunch of different stuff out and seeing if that works, it's like clearly that works. It's worked for a very long time to build a profitable group. And if you're trying to build like a profitable business, then you can do a lot of that on chain with a distributed workforce. It's pretty much like, I just see it as like an evolution of a corporate organizational structure. We're just bringing it on chain because a lot of that works. So I don't think we need to go full utopian, rah stuff.
Maybe it can become autonomous in like a decade of AI development.
It can't become autonomous because you
always
need someone that's like even if you wanted to like create like let's say you wanted no team except like there always has to be someone putting up tasks, right? Or sprints.
Well, it's like the benevolent AI dictator like thought experiment. Like you could try to do something like that and see how it goes.
Because like even if you were like, we're gonna have no team and we're gonna build this product completely by outsourcing work through a job board, right?
I don't think that works.
Task board.
No, imagine if the AI literally interprets the language of the votes.
I don't think it'd work either because there's always like incentive. Yeah, there's incentive misalignment too. Like you're not going to be able to find.
You're going to pay more.
Yeah, you're not going to. Yeah, that's what
quality. Even though there's a lot of boutiques in our business, though.
It's like an experiment that might be worth doing at some point.
Me and Mark did that on Bitcoin a while ago, and it just like any like protocol when it first comes out, you get a lot of interaction. A lot of people are interested in earning money for small tasks. But the larger tasks are the ones that then, don't get touched. The ones that you really need done and you really want worked on. There's always an incentive misalignment when you get to that. You need to find someone that like wants to work with you to kind of put in the time to do that stuff, or you need to overpay. And so like I'm just saying theoretically, like even if you were able to outsource everything through a task board like that, you still need someone to put together the tasks or to put the sprints, assign value to them. So there's still some, like you'll never get away from there being someone that's there that's in control or that is making changes that are necessary for the system to work. I don't think you could offload that to AI.
No, I mean, you can't. There's a lot of things you can't. Like the transaction submittal and stuff like that, you can do some of that. Like Don Wallet already does some of that, right? So it's like swap my USDC for ETH at the current price, and like it'll make that transaction for you. So there's already like things that are kind of going on in that space. But yeah, there's a lot of cool. I mean, there's a like proposal writing, right? I think you can get that like generated by AI. At least like the first iteration of what the transaction call data should look like. I don't know. There's like a bunch of stuff that you can outsource to AI that like we already do, right? Like most of our proposals are written by AI. I trained AI what a proposal framework is, and then I just say these are the notes from the meeting on a Sunday, and then it generates a proposal for me. And I usually have AI taking those notes too. So it's like,
bow to your AI overlord.
Yeah, dude. This is why you think I have like sometimes I have multiple jobs, but I just got really good, really fast at training AI to do things for me. So I have them trained to do different things for me. Autonomous agents is the future for sure.
When I take my time off sometime in the new year, I'm gonna spend like a week just training AI.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
how's that vacation? How's that vacation?
I know I'm supposed to be out until Wednesday actually, but I'm going to Mexico on Thursday, so whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. Flying into PVR, Puerto Vallarta, but I don't know exactly where I'm staying yet. If I'm gonna go to the Sayulita side, if I'm gonna stay in the PVR side, I'm not sure yet. I have to go to the
Hit up
jungle.
Ro. He's not there, but like he's
He's in he's in the country, yes.
Yeah, he's in the country. But he'll make the trips. Like I've had some friends go down there to different places that we worked with together in the past, and he's made a trip out there. We caught up in I think LA one time, or I don't know, somewhere out on the West Coast. But yeah, he's one who does the row as a service, much like the cozy as a service. I will fly to you.
Wait, you do that?
Oh, I do that. Yeah. I started it as a joke because
what does the cozy service entail?
No, I was joking with Carbon one time about like how I would come out to see him when he had his baby. Then when he had his baby, my birthday was like pretty close around then, and I just wanted to like leave the state. So I went down to his city and surprised him. I was like, "Hey, I'm here to see your baby."
Would you fly over to build Legos together?
Totally. Dude, you should see my Lego collection. It's absolute. My Lego collection and my Nerf gun collection are top notch. You may have seen my Nerf gun collection. Well, I mean, you could look on Reddit and 4chan, and my Nerf gun wall has been used many times as memes. It's the one with the tack board that has a bunch of guns hanging on it. It like looks like the Mr. and Mrs. Smith like gun wall, but it's like
I got
Nerf guns.
the Star Wars Lego AT-AT.
And then for Legos, like I was really into Legos when I was a kid, and my children, I've put that onto them, but they're into them themselves. So for the last, more than a decade of collecting large Lego collections and putting them together. Yeah, we've quite a few. But you put me onto the Legos, aftermarket.
Some old Lego, yeah, some of them are extremely valuable. Like I was looking, there's a Boba Fett minifigure that's worth $3,000, and it was part of a set with like a ton of things, and the set was $100 retail. The set is up like 1,000x.
You guys talking about Legos right now?
We're talking about Legos right now, yeah.
Dude,
my favorite one.
I have some of those. I'm pretty sure I have. I mean, they're not going to be in pristine condition.
It doesn't matter.
I have a lot of the Star Wars ones.
If you have
Denton,
like
you should send him the link.
Ones, yeah, I'll send you a link.
They're fucking worth money.
A single minifigure could be worth $1,000 or more. Yeah, there's
all right, Lego pimps. I gotta go to a meeting.
Peace. Later, option pimp. Later. Denton, I got my favorite one is this. It had to be like close to 1,000 pieces. That was a UFO that had like a moon rover that went inside the UFO, and it came with like some aliens and like little astronaut guys and shit. But probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite.
Like the old of all time. Space Lego, like the really old ones.
Yeah, this is from
those could be really valuable. Yeah.
It's from like the probably like early 2000s.
Nah, I'm talking
maybe
like
late 90s. Maybe late 90s. No, this would be from like the late 90s. Yeah, definitely. Because I was a little kid when I had this. Yeah, Legos are probably the only thing that I collected outside of video game. Well, like Pokemon cards, I was really into. I still have like a ton of those.
Bionicles as a kid.
But then video games, like I have every system from Atari until like recent, and like a library of games for every one of them. So like in my basement, the way I have this entertainment center that's a bunch of little like square cubbies, and every one of those cubbies is like a different gaming system. And yeah, I don't like play any of them anymore because they're emulators that I can just play on my computer. But they're still fun to like go down and every once in a while and play like Super Smash Brothers or play an old Sega game.
They'll probably be worth something if you take good care of them too.
I take very good care of the gaming systems and my cards, but I'm pretty anal about like keeping things in good condition. Like I keep boxes for all of like my old electronics.
I'm autistic about keeping the boxes.
Yep. It's like you just never know when or if you're gonna sell the thing.
Yeah.
And you know that as a buyer, there's nothing like getting the box with
it adds a lot, yeah.
And it adds a lot of value to it, you know, for the secondary market. DK, so Galaxy in 40 minutes?
No, it's already live. It's live.
All right, so
it's live.
All right, but all right, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up here. If you are not or have not participated in Galaxy, we, as well as 1 Inch are running. Stop on by Premia, check it out.
For the Arbitrum Odyssey reignited.
Yes, Arbitrum Odyssey reignited. Le Arbitrum Odyssey. That's it for today, folks. We'll see you back tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Later.